12 months ago, OneMiners reached out to me and asked me to test their Bitcoin mining hosting services. And in the last 12 months, I've mined over $2,000 worth of Bitcoin at current prices. So in today's video, I'm answering one simple question for you. Is Bitcoin mining hosting really worth it? Let's get into it. Jumping inside the dashboard here, we can see my miner up and running. So as you can see at the top, it's an X21 XP. This is a 270 terahash Bitcoin miner. Really, really efficient, but it does use a chunk of power, which is why this hosting is a really good option. You know, as we can see, 87 kilowatt hours per day, and it's using 3,630 watts at a time. But this thing's been rock solid. It's been up and mining the whole time. I haven't noticed any downtime whatsoever. It's somewhat over 99%, and the hash rate has been on point the whole time, which is exactly what we want. So I'll show you the exact earnings of mine in a little bit, but just as a baseline here, we can see $7.70 a day, $221 a month. And then of course there's fees of about $4.20. Now the market is tanked right now. Bitcoin is about half the value of what it was 6 months ago, which is never ideal, but we're holding regardless. So we're not really necessarily feeling that price change right now, but it's been online constantly hashing away, and these payouts have been going into my wallet every time I've requested them. So speaking of these payouts, that's what you want to know. How much have we actually mined worth of Bitcoin here? So we can see a number of different payouts over the last almost 12 months. We also have one more payout pending for about $200 US worth of Bitcoin. But pretty consistent, about once a month, once every 2 to 3 weeks, I've been taking these payouts into my wallet and of course holding them like we said. So a number of different payments, which I've taken the liberty of adding up so you don't have to worry about it. So let's see what that works out in US dollars at this current moment. The current value right now totals $1,940 US, with about another 100 or so, as I've said. So just over 2,000 USD worth of Bitcoin, or 0.03 BTC. Now, back at the all-time highs, this would be well over that $4,000 mark, but we're not making the video 6 months ago, we're making it right now. So for reference, $2,000 we've mined, but how much does the miner itself actually cost? Well, on OneMiners here, over here on Mining Now, we can see it's $3,358. So you'd be looking at, a revenue ROI of about 1.5 years, right? Depending on when you sell, all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be up to you whether you wanted to buy one of these, sell your Bitcoin daily, do whatever you want with it. Completely your decision. But there are, of course, some electricity fees that we've had to take out. So let's get a realistic ROI as of this current moment. So OneMiners has this really cool feature on their hosting platform. It's called the Auto Energy. You can see on the right here or down below. So what this will do is you don't need to add any money to your wallet whatsoever. What it will do is it will take out, I think it's 3 or 4 days, maybe even 4 or 5 days worth of electricity payments out of your balance. So that $2,000 that we've mined so far is including all of the electricity fees, right? So we'd still be sitting at about that 1.5 year ROI if you were to buy one of these, a year ago for, $3,500. But of course they were much more expensive than that then. So if this was my situation, you'd be looking really, really good. Unfortunately, like we said, the market being really, really down right now, it's making about $7.50 a day. You're taking out of that your $4.20 worth of electricity, which is $3.30. So if you said, say, 3,500 divided by 3.3, you're going to be looking at around 3 years worth of an ROI, which honestly is still really, really good. If you've got faith in Bitcoin and you believe that that price can get back up to that 120,000 or double in the price, you're looking at about 1.5 years, just under 2 years. So I think that this is still a really, really good buy. Of course, you know, this isn't play money, right? 3.5 grand is a lot of money for anyone to spend. So make sure you do your research before looking at what I've been doing here and pulling the pin on something like that, because nothing's guaranteed in crypto. You know, it could all go to zero tomorrow, but you know, for a 1.5 year ROI, in my situation starting 12 months ago, it works out really, really nice. So if you were looking at getting into something like this, you simply go to the OneMiners website. You can pick whatever miner you want. They've got everything available there. In my opinion, Bitcoin is the only safe bet. All these other altcoins, you know, they're very likely to go to zero. I've been burnt by altcoins in the past, but that's completely up to you. Some of the iPolo ones, you know, the Ethereum Classic, they're pretty stable. But of course, do your own research, and remember, Bitcoin is king, guys. So all you would do is you click down here, you add it to your cart, you go to your cart, which is on the next page, and this is where you have a lot more options. So they've got a ton of different hosting facilities all around the world. We are in the Nigeria facility. That's at 0.0479 cents per kilowatt hour. So I haven't seen anything cheaper than that anywhere for a single unit. That's booked out, of course, but there are a bunch of others. There's another one in Nigeria at just over 5 cents. You know, if you want something closer to home, if you're in Finland or the States, they also have really compatible rates there. But, you know, the USA rates are never going to be able to compete with something like Nigeria. And for some people, they'd rather pay a little bit more money and know that it's in the States. Again, completely your decision. And then you simply go to which payment form you'd like. Bank transfers, crypto payments. Crypto payments are always going to be better. Of course, yes, they can be more technically risky, but bank transfers with things like this, depending on where you're sending it to, can take days, weeks, right? It's a real nightmare sometimes. You can also pick them up if you want as well. So completely up to you, a ton of different options, and I will leave a couple of links down below if you wanted to go here. Of course, remember, do your own research. So all in all, a really positive experience from my end. You know, like I said, of course, this was an affiliate deal, right? So I didn't have to purchase the miner outright for this. I just got to test their platform, and that was always the gig. I want to be fully transparent with you guys, but I've had a really good experience, you know, complete uptime, the payouts have been easy, and that energy balance, so you don't have to put any of your own money in, I think is really, really good. It just means it's set and forget. You get it set up and then you don't have to think about it again. So I'm interested, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you've used OneMiners before, if you like them, if you don't like them. I write back to everyone's comments and happy to give any more input or information if you need it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.